Let's get back to your phone calls. We go to Wayne. You're next on 97.1. Hi, Wayne.
Hey, what up, guys? I'm finna change the subject. I know the girl that tried to say the bird was more important than the Pistons. I'm sarcastically saying that. But how when did you guys get rid of the Pistons? I mean, you won't talk. We only a record losing streak. Troy Weaver has made so many boneheaded moves. He's almost getting up there with Matt Millen. It's like somebody's in our neighborhood stealing and nobody calls the police. We got Bogey coming back, Bagley, Wiseman, Stewart, Hayes. You give Monty Williams $13 million when Phoenix told him they didn't want him to coach. Kevin Durant and Booker didn't want that guy. How many moves is Troy Weaver going to get before we put him on trial? Just like Dan Campbell turned the Lions around. If you guys don't get on the radio and talk about it and let fans vent, there's a lot of fans out here. We don't talk about it.
Wayne, we're not stopping anybody from talking about it. You feel free to vent.
We're letting you go.
Yeah, we have open lines.
Give us 10 minutes of the real deal. He's the one that really knows, but he knows no interest in there. This is the only team that won championships for us. Not the only team, but that was a proud franchise. And we're letting Troy Weaver and our owner just run us in the ground. It's not getting any better.
Yeah. Well, Wayne, in a week where the Lions are playing 2 games this week, and that's a team that's worth talking about, in a week where you've got the Michigan-Ohio State game, which is a pretty big game, I think that might take precedence over talking about, the Pistons that are off to a horrible start and lead the NBA in man games lost due to injuries. I mean, there'll be a time it'll be front and center.
So Jokic get kicked out the game last night. These coaches are seeing that Troy Weaver has not brought in talent. It doesn't matter who you put out there. There's no collection of talent. How long will he run scot-free? Can we get 20 minutes? We've been talking about this.
Not this week.
Not this week.
Wayne, look, if you want to talk about the Pistons and your frustrations with them, that's fine. If you want to talk about what we are talking about, first of all, we have open lines. You're the first Piston call we've gotten this week. I made the Pistons my chump of the weekend for their 11-game losing streak. But honestly, you might not have noticed, our show doesn't dwell on bad news.
Well,
we
this
don't
is a
dwell
different
on
week.
how miserable things are. Typically,
they're going to have their time. I'm holding. Look, I had some stuff on the Pistons in my show sheet.
I've got some stuff too. But
I'm not happy with what happened. You get, like you mentioned, Jokic gets ejected early last night. He plays 15 minutes. The Pistons have a golden opportunity to steal one, feel good about themselves with a W, and they don't. And there are things that you watch there in that game last night that I'm frustrated with, like why Isaiah Livers is all of a sudden the number 1 scoring option on a team that's got Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham on the floor at the same time with Livers. But I also understand that this isn't the team that's constructed just yet. When Bogdanovich comes back, when Duren is playing healthy, when they've got everybody ready to go and they're playing, and if they're still struggling like they've struggled, Troy Weaver is going to feel the heat. Absolutely going to feel the heat. But Monty Williams is a pretty respected coach. Did they overpay for him? Yeah, he's the highest paid coach in the NBA. Now,
I'm not sure you could pick a worse week on the calendar to call up and want to vent about the Pistons than this week in Detroit.
He's upset. He's a Piston fan. And he watched a winnable game last night that they piddled away at the end. And it gets frustrating. When guys go 3 or 4, actually, watching the game last night, when the 3 or 4 straight possessions driving into the lane and have their shots blocked or have the ball stripped from you as you're going into the lane, it's maddening to see that happen. And the other team gets the Denver gets the ball back, and you're watching former Pistons Reggie Jackson and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, roll up 41 points in the game between them.
The bulk of the judgment on Troy Weaver comes with the draft picks. I mean, they got to get the draft picks right, and these young guys.
And it's a question. Right?
It is a question. There's some stuff that started. They're starting to get some tread, and I'm not that encouraged.